Good day, students. You are welcome to sirMATHS mathematical journey in the world of numbers. Today, we are going to discuss classification of numbers, and that is as a concern grade 8, which is equivalent to JSS2. Classification. That is for grade 8 / JSS2. But before then, remember last week or in our previous lesson, we treated our standard form. Let's have a little review of that before we go to our main topic for discussion for today. If you are asked this question, compare these numbers in scientific notations. Numbers such as 5.20 times 10 raised to power 4. You have this box demanding for your answer, and 5.20 times 10 raised to power 3. Also a number like 9.8 times 10 raised to power 1, and you have this box 800. And also 9.450 times 10 raised to power 1. You compare it with 74.5. This is for our previous lesson, standard form. Scientific notation or exponential notation is the same thing as that very standard form. Anything, a number raised to power. So here, this is standard form. So what do you do? To avoid getting confused, though this is the same value here, but this is greater than this. But to show working, you can as well say 5.20 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 10 raised to power 4. And of course, that will give you 52000. You have 2 decimal places. 2 of these zeros will take care of it, leaving 2. And this is 5.20 times 1, 2, 3. The 3 we have here. And that will give you 5200. The 2 zeros will take care of the 2 decimal places. And then you can see which one. Is this greater than this, or is this less than this? You can agree with me, this is 52,000, while this is 5,200. You simply tell the examiner and whosoever that this is greater than this. What the comparison you are doing here is either it's greater, or it's less than, or they are equal. In the same way, this is 9.8 times 10. Anything raised to power 1 remains the same thing. And this is already given in ordinary number. And this will give you 98. 9.8 times 10 will give you 98. And this is 800. So out of the two, is this 98 greater than 800, or the 98 less than 800? You will agree with me that 98 is less than 800, you put your less than symbol. And this other one is 9.450 times 10. I told you anything raised to power 1 remain the same thing. And this one is already written in ordinary form. This will give us 94.50. And this remains 74.5. Then you ask yourself, is 94.5 less than 74.5, or is 94.50 greater than 74.5? This is greater. You put your greater symbol. So that means that 9.8 times 10 raised to the power 1. What did we do? 9.450 times 10 raised to the power 1 is greater than 74.5. That is for our revision of our last week lesson. Then we go over to today's discussion, which I've told you is a classification of numbers. We go on. What do we mean by classification of numbers? We have our integer. Integer is one of the classification of numbers, which sometimes resemble by this. When we are talking of integer, we are talking of all the numbers, in fact, all the whole numbers, be it negative or positive. All the numbers, be it negative or positive. That is integer. What do we mean by that? It is from infinity. Negative, let's assume we have 11, minus 11, minus 10, minus 9, minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, to infinity. This is our integer, to infinity. And that is why we say that integer is all the negative and positive whole numbers. All the negative and positive whole numbers. Negative from infinity to positive to infinity. That is integer. Then we have another classification, whole numbers. Whole numbers. Whole numbers are all the positive integers, including 0. All the positive integers, including 0. Including 0. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to infinity. These are what we call whole numbers. You can say from 0 to infinity. The positive. You can see the difference between whole number and integer. integer included the negative, but whole number start from this 0 or positive. Remember that 0 is neutral. It's neither positive or negative. This is for whole numbers. We have also what we call natural numbers. Natural numbers are all the positive integers from 1 to infinity. All the natural number is all the numbers, positive numbers of integer from 1. The only difference between this natural number and the whole number is this 0. We mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to infinity. These are natural numbers. Natural numbers. I hope we are following. We have discussed under this classification 1, 2, and 3. We still have other ones. Real numbers is the next one we are going to discuss. Real numbers. Real numbers. Real numbers are numbers that include all the rational numbers and irrational numbers. Include all the rational numbers, rational, and irrational numbers. All these two types of numbers, we will discuss them, each of them. I mean the rational and irrational. All of them make up what we call real numbers. Real numbers. We have example to this effect. The rational can have 3, 0, 2 over 3, square root of 8 or sod 8, and the rest of them. All these rational and irrational numbers. We treat rational. These are rational, while these are irrational numbers. So real numbers include all these two types of number classification: rational numbers and irrational numbers for real numbers. Then somebody may ask, what is rational number? Rational numbers are numbers that can be written in exact fraction. In exact fraction. What do you mean by that? Exact fraction like A, a number that can be written that. A number that can give you exact value. It has a stop somewhere. You can easily say this is this. And for example, we have 3 over 2. This is a rational number. If you divide by 2, it will give you 1.5. One whole number 1.5 as I said, or 1.5. Even if you have 2/3, but let us use the other one. This way, 2/3 will give you exact number, of course. All this we can call rational numbers. It can be written in exact fraction. If it's been divided, it will give you exact value, not a continuation endless value. We call such rational numbers. And we also have irrational numbers. Remember, we have treated rational numbers. There are so many of them, and on and on. If you can include 3.14 and on. These are rational numbers. It will have to stop somewhere. Even when you are writing the fraction, it will give you exact value. You can say this is equal to this. Not the one that will continue, that you will be tempted to correct to so number of decimal places or thereabout. That is rational numbers. We have irrational numbers. Irrational numbers. Okay, this is now the other one we treated. The rational number is number 5. This one is number 6, irrational number. These are numbers that cannot be written in exact fraction. You cannot write them in exact fraction, something like this. No, you cannot write them. And when you are dividing them, they have no end. They have no end, and it won't recur. Maybe 0.812, it continues. It has no end. Let's use this very example of these irrational numbers. Something like sort 8 we mentioned some time ago. If you are finding the square root of this is the value it will give you endlessly. 2.8, and it continues. 84, non-stop, 2712, non-stop, 1249. I have stopped because the provision has ended. But I want to tell you that this will continue from where you are to another village. Even when we are telling you stop, it will refuse to stop. Why? It is irrational number. 1. Irrational number cannot be written in exact fraction. If you are finding the decimal value, you discover that the decimal places has no end, and it will not recur. It continues, it will not recur. What we mean by recur is if we had maybe 2.8222, you can see this thing is recurring. No, in irrational number you don't have that, something like that. There are three qualities of irrational number. It cannot be written in exact fraction. When you are finding either you are converting it to decimal places or finding the square or whatever, it has no end and it does not recur. That is our irrational number. So these are number classifications which you should know in solving your problem in mathematics. We treated integer, whole number, natural number, real numbers, rational numbers, and irrational numbers. They are important. You should know them. I want to still appeal to you to subscribe to sirMATHS so that you will be kept updated in this our daily discussion. For today, for our grade 7, which is equivalent to JSS2, and we have discussed classification of numbers. we are stopping here. Come next week, by God's grace, we'll continue from where we stopped. Once again, thank you for listening, and don't fail to subscribe.